Welcome to Transformations with Tara. This is Tara Sutphen. And my guest and co-host today is Jason D. McKean. And he is the voice of over 1 million ohm recordings throughout the world. Hey, welcome, Jason.
Good morning, Tara.
Yeah,
Thank
my
you
pupper cup.
for having me this Sunday morning here.
Yeah, we decided just to move it over a little bit because Jason was on an adventure. And so
I
we're
was
going to
out
talk
there.
about generating adventure. And so we wanted to go ahead and have our show, but we postponed it for a few days. Yeah, so Jason could be with us.
Right. Yeah, it was a fun adventure, a family adventure, and it's one that it's important to always connect. And if you can get out into the world before like the holidays and all, like Memorial Day is coming up, if you can avoid a lot of that scene, then you're ahead of the game.
Right. Well, it's a little more comfortable and you're not waiting in traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So adventures, we're both known to have a lot of adventures. People think of me as very adventurous, and I traveled the world and still traveled all throughout the COVID time. I was one of the travelers hopping on those planes.
Yeah. It does take a spirit of adventure, of being okay with the unknown, and it's like making it known. That's what we're called to do when there's just something that is calling us to. It's like, let's go in this direction, let's expand, let's nurture our spirit.
Yes. Now, I think of adventure as not just traveling. There's a lot of adventure that you can create in your home, and a lot of adventure that you create just within yourself. That life is an adventure, and that we are living it every day, and we have to create it. And so it has to be small adventures as well as, sometimes going off on those bigger adventures. And I would say my big adventures all the time stem around work. I'm a person who needs to create classes and seminars all throughout the world and see clients. And so I travel.
Yeah. Speaking of that, of like creating seminars and stuff, it's like when I was doing live seminars like a couple of years back, it would be a kind of more in a set routine, or it would be with topics that I had a really great understanding of. But as one, like, was more relegated to at home, and then like doing Zoom classes and all, it's like, what do I want to know? It's like, what do I want to expand? What do I want to be a student of? And so, I'd pick these topics that I knew very little about, but I knew other people, in the community they would know it. And so so that is an adventure, right? Where you set space for more learning, and going into these places that you don't really know a lot about, and it's just like you start to learn.
Yes. Yeah, and I have to say that Cheyenne right now is doing an adventure. She is learning French, and so she talks to me a lot in French. And it's funny because when I have a best friend who's French too, and she, for the last 30 something years, has always wanted to speak, practice her English, and doesn't want to like speak French really. So as we know, she's funny. She's been funny. And we always
Yeah.
love to have her say different things because we loved hearing what, the translation she did in English, like artichoke. Artichoke. It's always so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I'm sure that we're hilarious as well when we're trying to do French. But so she's been studying French, and I have know how to read French, and I've never really spoken it that much, but I know how to read it and study it because my spirit guide, um, her last life was in France, and so I looked for her. I looked for her all over France, and as far as her grave and all of and it was fascinating and the most amazing psychic experiences I've ever had. So because of searching, um, and and so that I really loved doing that adventure. That was a really fun adventure, but it's just kind of fun that she's speaking French, and so it can happen in the littlest kind of ways. So you just decide you're gonna learn something, or cooking adventures, or restaurant adventures. I love restaurant adventures, love cooking adventures too. Although, sometimes your food doesn't quite taste like the restaurant, does it? But, but I try really hard
Yeah,
to
not always.
match it, in a healthy style. Cause, I'm, a snob on certain things, as everybody knows, salt and sugar. Yeah. So it's all about the seasonings. Anyway. Oh, here she is now.
That's Cheyenne calling.
That's Cheyenne calling. See,
Oh my
we
God.
speak her name on the radio
Right?
and she
It's like
shows
you
up.
summon her.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, so she now knows that we are on the radio. And I'll call her back later. Yes.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, and do you think that there's like a newness or taking something to like the next level that creates that spirit of adventure?
Oh, yeah, I think it's this. Well, and I think that's it, is when we spark our passion. It doesn't have to be a lot of passion. It just has to be, muster it up, because we tend to be uh stasis never really serves us. So, resting is good if you're overworking yourself or overstressing about things, but stasis, you need to keep moving. That's the progression of the planet. We come here to actually move, to actually experience things. And so that's why we need to, get with the program, even when we don't want to, because a lot of times we don't want to. We don't want to create a fascinating life, really. We want just it to come to us, not us to have to make it. But that's not how it really works. It works when you have a vested kind of interest and you don't like go into 50 things. Like, we were talking about Cheyenne learning French. Well, she's not learning Italian and Spanish and everything too. She's just, you take one thing at a time and kind of hone in on it. And mine was Spanish when I was young. I took all the Spanish classes in school. And so, I can go anywhere and speak pretty much, a Latin-based language, or understand basically what's happening. And Italy, you gotta like study the menus and stuff so that you can eat good food.
And so that
that was my
basically
thing.
what you're eating.
That's right, because I went with when I would go back in the day with my husband back then, and who's no longer on the planet, and bless him. But the thing is that with the kids and him, he would just be so bad about the menu and not even really ask me, but he would look at when they would say hot dog or something, he would think it would be like a hot dog and it would be just a sausage put on your plate. It was just like, well, you didn't ask me. And the menu, you can't read, I could explain it. Yeah. But they were hungry and, it just happened. It just happened that way. It was just crazy. It was
So,
crazy. All the meals that we would have, because we would be there months, we'd go for the summer, as Jason well remembers. We would go for 3.5 months. Yeah. And we would have an apartment somewhere, and then we would travel from the apartment and go all over Europe. And we were working over there. So it was like perfect. Just
there's
to stay
nothing like
there.
going to a foreign country and having hot dogs. Anyway,
You don't. It's not why you're there. It's not why you're there. You can have plenty. I mean, and I'm not a hot dog person, but Jess Stern was, our beautiful, amazing author friend, who wrote Yoga, Youth, and Reincarnation in 1965, and it became a New York bestseller. And so he loved hot dogs, New York hot dogs.
He loved Nathan's New York hot dogs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And about this time, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, the summertime, it's like this.
Oh yeah, I'd have to have them. Yeah, the beach cookouts, and then at my house, I'd have to do, if it was like Memorial Day or 4th of July, he wanted hot dogs. And it was like, okay. I was a very strict vegetarian then. And it was just like, really? Okay. It was pretty funny.
You could have relish on a bun.
With some lettuce and tomato.
Right.
Yeah. Little onion.
Little
Chopped
mustard.
onion. Make chili. Yeah, vegetarian chili. No,
it's like
it
an
was
adventure
great.
though too, right? Is like these, these parties, the like all of the new people, that would kind of come into the scene there. And those are adventures too. And do you embrace those? Do you like allow yourself to go out and meet new people, or do you just like hang out in your own clique? Do you hang out in the corner and say, well, I'm okay by myself?
Right.
It's like people can bring that sense of aliveness, of movement, of adventure as well.
Yes. Yeah. Right. And you can have adventures on anything. Like I was just thinking this morning, I would like to plan a birthday party for Hunter, because Everest will be here and his daughter. And so it was like, maybe I know a musician, maybe we'll have him come over, and she loves to entertain. Cheyenne's a great chef, and who would have ever known, other than she loved the sabbats, the pagan sabbats. She would always, for all the Yule and Beltane and Imbolc and all of them, she would do these beautiful dinners that you had to do from scratch. From when she was about 12 years old, she would have these dinner parties. And then you had to like scrape off just a little bit of food to give back to the earth. And the girls would all go off and march. I watched them. They'd all go off and march off into some fields and, give back to the earth. But the boys, no, weren't having it. They were eating every last bite. It was pretty funny. And I saw them watch the boys sit there as the girls marked off. It was really funny. Yeah. But so anyway, it's just creating little things, right? It doesn't have to be a big party, but Everest loves to bake cakes. She has since she's been 3. I'm not a big, cake person even, but boy, we I let her do all of it, even crack the eggs. She does all of it. So it's really fun what she creates, and she loves giving. She loves giving and doing that. And for her dad's birthday, it's a big deal. That's one of her like favorite holidays now, is to do something for his birthday. So it's creating adventure, because and it also creates a person's life to whereas, they're having some fun. It's simple fun. Just simple fun. Cooking, food.
Yeah. Yeah. Making it, for an occasion, creating,
Yes.
something, around it, and, again, it doesn't have to be, just a feast that you're doing. It can be, um, something for an afternoon. You could be cooking for yourself, but you're like, um, putting a little extra, specialness into it,
Yeah.
and
Right. And we, it's not like we need a whole, a lot to create a party. It's not about uh, the fanfare of it. It's about the sentiment, and it's about just doing a few little things, you know. Yeah. Yeah. So I know that we'll do that. So you're invited, Jason.
oh, thank you.
You and Sue.
Thank you. Sounds great,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. We'll plan the date when Everest gets here, but that's a good way, just to do little food adventures and so and it's good. It's a and Hunter's had big surgery, so it'd be nice to celebrate him. Yeah. Yeah. Be
Yeah, I
happy.
would think, another way is, for anyone who has a creative urge, who's an artist, or
Mm,
just wants to express themselves in a different way, or take what it is that they do and just up the ante a little bit. Do something that's, again, with that adventurous spirit. It's about expansion. It is about, um, if you've been wanting to do something that you're not either familiar with, but you have a spark, that spark of direction, saying, what, I'd like to try that. I'd like to try it. It's like you give yourself that permission to move in that direction, and to, start at the beginning. That's the rule of everything. It's like you just begin at the beginning, and you see how it is that you like it. You may not like it, right? It may be like, oh, that's that. I don't care for it. But at least you're not, you don't have that question mark in your head going, oh, I should do that, or should I do that, or whatever. It's like you do it, and it's like, okay, that's what it is. But a lot of times that spark, it it's there for a reason, because it signals you to take something to the next level. And it, the vast majority of times it's like, oh yeah, I'm really glad I did this, because that has led to this, which has led to this, and you expand, and, um, it can kind of be the next thing
yes.
for you.
I do have a friend. I wanted to say that I do have a friend who decided to be adventurous and took up football, the kind that you don't wear the helmets and everything. Yeah,
Oh my God.
in his 50s. Yeah, he's decided to do like some kind of rugby. Anyway, so it's just been like, are you going to get really hurt? Because they're pretty rough. So that I don't know if that adventure is that fun for that long. That I don't know. That'd be like taking up bronc riding or something. Yeah, it's just like,
It's funny about that though. It's like, if someone like takes up tennis or something like that,
yeah,
it's like,
tennis.
tennis it's a great sport and all, but because, of how one plays on the court, it's like you will discover muscles that you never knew you had.
Right. And you have to be careful not to overuse your arm because, a lot of times you get tennis elbow so easily.
Yeah.
But do I love tennis? Oh my gosh. But I don't really have anybody to play with right now. So it's been terrible.
Yeah. So there is something to be said about
Jason
those.
has so many trophies. I'm gonna like, Jason has so many trophies of tennis. He was on a tennis team
It's
and
true.
he did. I mean, there were so many trophies. So many. I mean, you could have filled walls with those trophies. Yeah.
Well, I definitely feel like a mantle, a fireplace mantle. It's like, hey, what can I say?
So
I didn't,
many.
I didn't
But
hold back.
no, it was so much fun. So he should come over and play with me actually on the tennis court.
I don't know. How many tennis trophies do you have? Do you like?
None. 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 But I always played guys. So I had Willie
I
to
played
play
guys
with.
too.
Willie was a tough one. Yeah.
Oh my God, he was.
He
He was a
was.
natural.
He is.
He
Yeah,
was
they
a
wanted him
natural.
on the tennis team so bad. At the Malibu Tennis Association, whatever it was. Yeah, they wanted him bad. But he wanted to play hockey. Yeah, it's too bad. I should have made him go further into tennis. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, there's something to be said for, any new direction too. It's like you might want to pace yourself in it. If it is like a physical sport, if it's physically demanding and all, it's like,
yeah,
just as, a common sense note, right? It's like if you take up skydiving and all that, it's like, don't just think that you're jumping out of the plane on the first day. It's like, have some instruction, build up to something. But that's part of it too, where you savor the journey, you savor the parts of it. It's like, a lot of people, they want to get to the end of something. They want to be the master, artist or sculptor or chef or linguist or,
yeah,
whatever, right? But, part of the adventure is that place of the unknown, of, making things known, of taking things step by step, and and learning along the way, learning the root of, what it is doing to enhance your place on the planet as well. And it can be for
yeah.
fun, right? There's we can do stuff for hobbies, we can do things that become a new vocation for us as well.
Right, right. Yeah. Well, the thing is not to have any expectations. I mean, usually things start just by fun. We were talking about I don't know, there was something that Cheyenne's picture, I think I shared it or something the other day, and uh our friend Craig Spector, and everybody knows him. He's a author. And he said, oh, I mean, something about look at her now, I used to make food puppets for her when she was 3 or something. Anyway, but they love those food puppets, and who knows why she became a chef is probably, that helped her along. Food was fun. Yeah, you could make food puppets with it. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, and he was good for food puppeting. Yeah.
it's very inventive to make, puppets out of one's breakfast and all.
Yeah, every restaurant you go to with a guy. Yeah, but he was, creating an adventure for kids, especially, Yeah, so it was, you just never know how you're going to create something. Yeah.
Yeah. So what,
That
is there
touches people's lives. What do you mean as far as directions?
is there a direction that you're interested in, that you're, because you have like, ways of expanding, like what, with your equine therapy and things like that.
Yeah.
It's like taking your years of, having horses and all, and your years of
Yeah.
hypnotherapy and counseling and all that, and working
Yes.
with.
And shamanism. So yeah, so so working with equine therapy has been so much fun. Yeah. Mhm.
And it's been an adventure, has it not?
It has been an adventure. It's been an adventure. It's been a really beautiful adventure. Yeah, and just that, the wonderful people that come in to handle the horses. They're usually people who have had no experience whatsoever. And so they've never been around horses, and they think it might be fun. But it's hardcore therapy. You know. And the horses are really into it. They're really intuitive. So they're super into it. So, that right away, you get exactly where this person is stumbling in their life and where they're going forward. And yeah, the horse helps you, decipher everything about the person.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. Horses are very, they have the heart. The heart anyway is so large that, they encompass a lot of love and a lot of empathy for other people. Horses, are not naturally mean. So when they're, showing signs of being mean, that's been somewhere they've been mishandled or misused because they hurt somewhere. Most likely they hurt. Like 99.5% is they have toothache, they have leg ache, they have their spine hurts, something, but they're hurt. So it's kind of interesting with horses.
So they don't come out mean from the womb.
No, they're out of the deer family, actually. They're prey animals. And so that's why they're so crazy to ride, as far as you have to be their guide, because otherwise they think that everything's out to get them. And they run from anything that's trying to get them. So that's where you have to say, I'll take care of you. Don't be running from that bucket over there that you think is, because they have diurnal eyes. So their eyes, they see on the sides of their head, not like us, straightforward. And they are prisms. They're all prismed eyes. And so they're diurnal and nocturnal. And so they sleep very little. They sleep like 5 minutes a day. Yeah, they sleep very little. And they don't lay down much. Yeah, and it depends how comfortable or how high strung they are anyway. Like Lyrica never lays down, hardly ever. She rolls, but she doesn't lay down to rest. Hardly ever. Yeah, she's not been a horse that I can go in and lay on or anything when she's resting. Yeah. So whereas my other horse, Bella, used to love when I put shavings out, she'd just be, oh my gosh, it's heaven. I'm laying down. Yeah. Yeah, she'd like to sleep in the sun in the morning. Yeah. But they have to feel safe. They have to feel safe. And yeah. So it's interesting.
It's what's funny about animals and it's like mostly I know dogs since I have, two that are very much adventurous in mind, as far as they love going, they love like when we were preparing to go up north, it's like they'd camp out by the suitcase, because it'd be
Right.
like,
They knew.
and even Ananda would be in the suitcase.
Yeah.
If it was open, it's
Yeah.
like, we are not being left behind.
Right.
And
Ruby red Cavaliers. They're darling dogs.
yeah, but they love to travel. They're great travelers. It's like Archie is like usually awake the entire time, looking around, going, where are we? This is cool. And then just ready to get at it and have like a new environment, and I think that again, it's important to be able to integrate what it is that you're experiencing, so you're not just in overwhelm, that you don't just, I mean, so you can appreciate an environment, you don't buzz through it too fast, where it's just like, you're not picking up the essence of things. You're just like, flitting from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. But to really soak in what it is that you're experiencing, so that you're, you can build on a spark of your interest, that you
Mhm.
can recognize how to deepen it, how to um, be able to utilize it for yourself. Like some directions that we go in, we can look to be part of our regimen, or what we do in life.
Mhm.
It's like, again, with the equine therapy, it's like you that's a monetized thing. It's like it's part of your practice. um it's like I've been taking my love of creation, making books, for myself, for others, and teaching it. And that's a way of deepening your relationship to that direction, or adventure that you go on. And you find how it can branch off into other areas too.
Mhm. Right. Right. Yeah, I love it. So, what would you say um, that you're going to do upcoming that's an adventure?
um
Noodle master.
well, I have been cooking a little bit more here
Mhm.
here and there. That is beyond just being the noodle master,
Mhm.
because I just have that reputation in my household. I don't know that it's you know it's boiling water. It's like making sure that you don't overcook the noodles or undercook them. That's a thing.
Uh,
They will come out just perfect.
mm,
And that's something.
an art.
It is an art form, to be a noodle master, right?
Yeah, you want to
and,
eat.
and once you achieve that masterhood, right, that status, it's like you cannot backslide on that. You can't, like, you know have any disasters, or else your
Oh
reputation
yeah,
is like, pew.
yeah.
You have to start from scratch again.
Mm.
um as far as like what I have on my plate, I'm writing. I started writing another book that is a text written book. I've got two workbooks, two tarot spread journals. One is a 3-card spread, the other is a multi-card spread. So there's a lot more flexibility with that, and that's
Nice.
brand new. And those are available on Amazon. And one thing that has branched off from that, because I was doing a very step-by-step instructional type of seminar on book publishing. It's like there are some students, writers, and all, who are saying, yes, we would love to have that finished book, but
Mhm.
we're still in that process of getting there, of still writing and working through our own blocks and things.
Mhm.
So that is like the next direction, is to help help people get through their own process, so that they're not blocking themselves, that they're finishing what they started. And
Right, and that's learning something new. I mean, you get people that want to learn something new all the time.
so
So
it's
that's
it's
great.
integrating a specific goal, but it's
Mhm.
also using meditation, programming, uh, tarot, as
Yeah.
far as looking to see where people are blocking themselves,
Mhm.
and putting it all together. And
Right.
so that is one of those new directions.
Nice. Love it. Yeah, Yeah, I wrote down a list of how you could generate more adventure. And you could make a bucket list for your hometown. So, the things that you haven't seen, you know, and there's things that I still haven't seen, my hometown of Los Angeles.
Have you ever been
And
to Watt Tower?
no, I've never been to Watt Tower.
Check
And
it out.
I haven't been even to Adamson House. Cheyenne used to do all sorts of events there, and I never went there. That was the first house that ever was in Malibu. But the ranch house was never there. But I was at Marion Davies' house down at the Annenberg Center because I was looking to rent space for a seminar. So I went through the house as well, which was fun. But yeah, so there, and the Getty Villa, I've been there lots. But, there's plenty of little things. And downtown used to be really great. I used to go to this one place where in downtown it was an art gallery, and you touched the piano and it actually went down into like the underground. And it was like, what the heck is that? But it was really funny. I just thought, wow, there is so much to know in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when Sue was writing an article for the Japanese tourist industry. It's
Mhm.
like we would go all around to LA, and so we would see these sites that because you have your museums, you have like the known stuff, you have Hollywood and all that, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of other, like, just non-expensive, places that you can go to, sections of town that are very artsy, and like when I was over at the Shakespeare Bridge there in off of, I think it's on the like Franklin there, Silver Lake, that area, where there's the just these things that many people have seen in movies and all, and just going, to just go there, check it out, take pictures, learn about the history of stuff. It's like
Yeah, fun.
there's a lot of places like that in Los Angeles.
Right. So, talking about that, I know Sue did it for uh, the Japanese market, but she should all that material. She should make a booklet for LA. Because we all don't know where all that stuff is.
Right.
We don't all know how to read Japanese. Maybe you do, but we do
Nope.
not.
Nope, I do not.
So
I'm completely lost.
right. So it's your hometown things. Yeah. Because there's so many, when we lived in Anchorage, there were so many great places to go and see. And same thing, Seattle, Portland, Alabama. I've been in Alabama a lot. And all throughout Florida. I've seen some great places and gone to, yeah. So yeah. So your bucket list on your area that you're in.
Mhm.
And then how about to so we really covered cook and eat something new. You know, in fourth grade when we lived by San Francisco, my teacher, we went to private school. My teacher would bring back chocolate covered ants, all sorts of chasing, and chocolate
Geez.
covered bumblebees and chocolate covered grasshoppers, all sorts of things for us to try. And all snails, we had to have escargot. Um, we had a sweet whale once, like sugared whale. We had all sorts of stuff when we were in fourth grade. She was really trying to get Probably trying to kill us.
Right.
But anyway, yeah. Anyway, so something new. I mean, you don't have to go that drastic. It's just maybe going for, international cuisine is more my style. Yeah, if you're going to try something new. Anyway, yeah, and then plan a trip. Doesn't have to be a big trip, it can be a small trip or a family trip, like Jason was just on a family trip. That seemed really fun. And you guys had a fun day, I heard, going off to a park and
Oh yeah.
having a picnic and everything. So that's nice. And then checking out a concert, a show or festival. Learn something new. We covered that pretty well. Like psychic development with Tara. Yeah, tarot with Jason. Yeah. And and I'll have another hypnotist training here upcoming. But I don't have one planned out yet. So we shall see. And then drive down a random street. Throw a themed party. I've done lots of those. Especially Halloween, like Italian.
Going back to the random street, it's like, on your GPS, right? It's like if you're going through a place that either you may know it or it may be, unfamiliar, but, sometimes there's variations as far as like, you'll see like the direct route that's the quickest, but then there's ones that, extra 2 or 3 minutes, whatever. But if you choose to go on, something that is just a little bit, maybe a little bit more timely, but you'll see something that you didn't see, like coming back down to LA, right? It's like we're driving through Bakersfield, and instead of just going the highway down, we did, after we stopped for gas and all, we went down a side street and one that would bring us back. But like behind Bakersfield, there's all of these oil wells, and it was just like, whoa, this is like really, you do not see it from the highway and all, but it like gives you a different perspective on that part of California, which is very agricultural, but it's also, there's a lot of oil wells and stuff, and it just like gives you just expands your knowledge of the area, what's happening back there. But it's like, wow, this is, incredibly industrial back here.
Right. Well, it's not Santa Paula where Daniel Day-Lewis played There Will Be Blood, but it's that kind of, back there. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty eye-opening.
Those crickets.
Yeah. I think back in the day they used to paint them, so that they were like crickets or different animals and more psychedelic.
During the day when that was fun.
Yeah.
Paint things.
Now they're just very industrial. It's like, come on, work.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So what else is on your list?
So, it's to go out and paint oil derricks. Think of it. There's the graffiti artists. Why aren't they out there making them cute?
Right.
Yeah. So then change up your work location. And a lot of people need that because they've been working from home, or they've been, that it's been a little bit, you have to have fun again. Have fun at work. So it's good to have fun. Where I've been having fun is I've been renting a whole ranch in Sedona. And so, that's been the location for the psychic seminars, and it's been really fun. So, and I'll have another one in the fall. It's not a set date yet, but we'll have one. And then it said play hooky on something I read, and I was like, well, playing hooky, but maybe it's a good day off, not necessarily hooky. Hooky, I think of as like you're skipping school or skipping
work. Think of it as
I'm really sick. Yeah, to where Jason and I can't do that because we work for ourselves.
think of it as self-care.
Yeah.
It's like a day, for self-care. And, it's
Yeah.
like if you're needing to just, unwind a bit, just have some me time and go off or stay home or, whatever. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was a little bit like that in school. I just every once in a while go and study in the library instead of go to class.
Mhm.
But yeah, but I was going to school at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then we'd get off pretty early in the day. But it was 7 a.m. that usually school started till what, 1:30?
2.
Yeah, or 2. And
It may have been different because you were, in
yeah,
the high school.
right. So anyway, yeah, I don't remember so much.
I remember it as being 7 to 2.
All right, and I was probably 7 to 1:30.
Yeah.
So 7 to 1:30, and then I worked for a jewelry store. So, and it was during the Alaska pipeline years. So, there was a lot of people coming in to buy jewelry. And then I went to work for the Alaska pipeline. So yeah. So everything led to another. It was a big adventure. But yeah. So yeah, the hooky thing. Anyway. Didn't play I haven't played hooky too much in my life. So yeah. Just rest well when you need to rest, and create your life to generate adventure.
There's a card in the tarot that will come up for, it's a signal for people to listen to if there's a spark that's saying, that's kind of beckoning one in a direction, and that's the Fool,
Yes.
right? It's the new adventure card. And so, if you are feeling that, it doesn't have to be just a fully known, and it's usually not just a where all the details of what is to come ahead. It's like it's this calling, right? And it's like you always have that choice of listening to it or saying, maybe now is not the time. I'm not going to go in that direction. But if you do, then
Right.
then you can, look to, you're giving yourself that permission to have that adventure at that time.
So where can they find you, Jason?
I am at my website, Jason D. McKean, Jasondmckean.com. And on the social medias, it's Facebook, Jason D. McKean, and Jason Tarot Wizard on Instagram. How about you?
I am tarainsight.com, TARAINSIGHT.com. And I'm Tara Sutphen, Tara Insight on all social media. Okay. Lots of love, Jason. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks,
and Tara. Lots of love, everyone.